Hello everybody, welcome. I thought I would do a quick little tutorial on how I do my beading. This is my little variation of it, how I found the easiest way to do it and how to put things together. What everything is, and if you're a beginner or haven't started but want to start doing some beading or jewelry making, it's very easy. And I know it can be intimidating when you first start out, like what tools do I need? What are all the dimensions and the sizes and all that kind of good stuff. So I know it can be quite intimidating if you haven't thought about, if you have thought about what all you need to get started. So I thought I would just do a quick little video. These are some that I just did last night. I did these pretty quickly. Went to Hobby Lobby yesterday. So catch those on sale if you have a Hobby Lobby nearby, or you can go online. And Amazon also has a lot of good supplies too. I know I bought a lot of things there, but right now Hobby Lobby has this brand. This is the Bead Design Company. And they have the cute little packs, so you can get a lot. You can pick up a lot of different things in that. These are kind of the bumpy gumballs. The size on these, I'm not sure, and I'm not good at the millimeters. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not good at all at. You think they would tell you on here what size these are, but anyway, let's see. Millimeter. Does this even have a millimeter on here? I don't even know. Anyway, these are about a half an inch. So whatever that is in millimeters is normally how they're sold. Okay, I will tell you that. So I picked up these, just fun summery colors, and then I have a lot of kind of these iridescent to go with these journals that I picked up at the Dollar Tree that I'm going to redo these. So I thought these would be really pretty, kind of a mermaid journal or a unicorn journal, or anyway, I just thought they were super pretty. So I got these from the Dollar Tree, and they're just little notebooks. I do have a hardbound cover on them, so I'm going to rework these and add a little pizzazz to them. So I thought these would be really pretty, and then I picked up a big box of these. These are iridescent as well. So all different sizes in there, kind of ombre colors, so really pretty and very unicorny, mermaidy looking. So I picked those up, and then also I just got some wooden beads. Got those colors there. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of show you first to get started. When you're making your charms, you will want the jump rings. Okay, that is like one of the things that you will actually use to attach to your lobster claw or whatever it is that you're going to be using to attach, as your attachment, whether it's a hook or whatever it is. So I picked these up. These are actually from Amazon, and I will link everything below that I have purchased, so that it will be easy for you to find them. And the good thing about these is that this has all different sizes inside of here. Okay, so depending on how much you're wanting to add, you can actually, to the bigger ones, you can add a couple of beads together. So I'll show y'all how to do that. But a couple of other things that I picked up that you will need are your pins. These are the main number one thing that you're going to need, and these are the 2-inch. I have bought them shorter. Go with the 2-inch, especially if you're wanting to try to do the wrapping. Okay, if you would rather just bend the wire and clip that off or snip the end off instead of wrapping, then you could go a little bit shorter than that. And then these are just these are 4mm. So these are just a 4mm. These are actually plastic, but they're the gold tone, which is kind of what I'm going with today. And then another thing I found on Amazon are these little caps. Now the caps are good for adding to beads that, just say for instance this one here. This one had quite a large hole in the bottom. So when I put my thin wire through, my pin through, of course that would just pull right through there. So even adding the 4mm bead, it would still pull through as well. So this is a good time to add the decorative cap. So, and it also hides that big hole too. So see, there's the top and there's the bottom. Okay, and then I just loop that around. Okay, so this also comes in all sizes. I will link to the bottom on that too, so you have all of these little caps for your little beads, and then it goes up in size. And the good thing about these is they're pretty malleable, so you can, when you put these on there, as you can see, this is the same thing that's on the top of there, and you see how much it's spread out. So once you place it on there, you can kind of push it a little bit and it will spread just to kind of cup around the bead. Okay, so this is not, you know, necessarily, but it is a good thing just to have on hand in case you were to need that. So I'm just trying to give you a rundown of a little bit of the basic things that you will need and that you will come across. So your pins, whether you are using the flat-headed pins, I also have, and I really like the look of the that already has the ball on the end. But if you don't have that, you can also use the little crimp beads. These are the 2.5 millimeter crimp beads. So those are super tiny. This will sit on the end of your pin and kind of give it that look. This will also help your beads from pulling through too. Okay, so just depending on how big the hole is on your bead, and just really whatever look you're wanting there, whether you use those or the other. Of course, you have your, I call these the eye pins. This is silver, but this is what this looks like. And these are good for when you're attaching beads to beads. So if you have this one and you want to make like a bracelet or like a necklace, you can just attach. You open these up a little bit and then use it to attach. Or you can use the jump rings in between that. Okay, so there are 3 different variations on that. Some people make their own out of wire, and so that's a little bit more advanced. So we're just thinking beginner here. So anyway, let's get started. Here are some tools that I'm going to use too. I picked these up from Michael's. These are just these are for your wire and turning your wire, because they're all completely smooth around. So these are pretty much a must-have. Okay, I have these, but these are a little bit more flat and they're quite a bit smaller. So to really make a good loop, I would suggest getting this size right here. And this is the standard one that they carry at Michael's. Okay, so that one, you will need that. A pair of tin snips, or just a little pair of snips. I use these for cutting apart my dies, my metal dies, so you can pick this up at any craft store too. These actually came with a pack. These are just kind of good for helping to turn wire that's a little bit more stiff. Okay, this actually came with some beads or something I got from Amazon, but it's smooth on the inside, so when you are turning your wire, it won't make an indentation in there. Okay, so here is one that actually has a little bit of a turn on it. Same concept, but this one just has a little bit of a turn on that. So sit down here and we'll start figuring this out. Pull out one of my pins. I'm using what all I got yesterday from Hobby Lobby, so we'll just start with that. And I am going to actually use, let's see, we'll use a couple of these beads here. So you will see the opening of this, and when I put my pin in, that's just going to pull right off. So you have to have something to stop that on the end. Now that can actually be one of your little pieces like this on the bottom. It can be one of your little caps. So I could actually use one of the small caps. That's a little bit too small. That's for a smaller bead. But one of these little caps that go on the bottom, and I think that one's probably still a little bit too small. So we'll move up to the next size here. Is that 1 or is that 2? I have to grab my glasses, y'all, because I can't see without my glasses on. Okay, so we'll try this bead. We'll try that little cap. So that's what that looks like there. Okay. So the caps are made to be the hole in the cap is made to be smaller than that. So I always like to test it just to make sure, and that's going to stay, okay? And just thread your bead on there. Oop, no, it's not. Okay, so when that happens, that's when it's good to have these little pieces. And actually, if I were to probably to use the, let's just see if I were to use the one with the ball on the end, okay, the head pin. Let's see if that pulls through. I think that will actually work. But what you could do if you just, all you had was this is why I like to use the little 2.5 millimeter crimp beads on the end, because it kind of mimics the head pin of that. So I'm just going to pull again to make sure that's not going to come off. So that's what that looks like. You can or can not, however you want to do it. You can add a piece at the top. And I think I'm just going to leave it because you're going to have so much of the wrapping on there. You really don't need anything at the top, okay? Kind of like this here. You can see that you really don't need anything at the top of that. Now if you wanted to add another cap you could, but that would take up a lot of the bead, okay? So there's how that looks. Now you're going to take your round little needle nose. These are just for jewelry, and these are graduated in size because you can make a really small tiny little loop by going way down here like this. I usually come up about right here because I kind of want my loop not to be too small but not too big either. So to get about that size there, I go about halfway up, maybe a third of the way up, and you'll just bend at a 90-degree angle. Okay, like that. So you bend it 90 degrees. I take and rotate that up like that. Then you're going to fold it back over. So like that. Okay, that's what that looks like. Then after you do that, this is how I do it. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this. You're moving it so everything is, you stay on top of the piece. So then I rotate it like that, and then you're just going to take this piece and pull it back really tight against that at another 90-degree angle. So it looks like that, okay? And then I switch in my non-dominant hand, and then I just start wrapping. This is so easy. And this metal here on this particular pin is really soft. The metal isn't as thick a gauge as the straight pins that I have here, so I can actually do this with my fingers. So you just walk this and pull it around. So it's just, you're wrapping it and wrapping it around like so. And then when you need to finish off, you can just grab another tool, as long as it is a smooth tool and not anything that has any grooves in it, because you don't want to damage your wire and put little grooves into it. So you're literally just wrapping, okay? And that's why I was saying you really don't need anything on top, because you're going to have so much extra wire on this. So you can just continue wrapping and then kind of come back up if you wanted to do that. Or you can just take your wire snips. Don't you like how I say wire snips? And just snip that off, and then I just take this and just kind of smush that down a little bit just to kind of keep it from poking up, okay? So there you have it. And the beautiful thing about this, even if that's crooked, you can just take your little and just kind of bend it to kind of pop that back up straight. But there we have it. Okay, make sure we'll stand, make sure you see that. Okay, so there we have it. Okay. Now I'm going to show you too using this one, just because I want you to see the different gauge of wire that's used on this one. This one is a little bit, like I said, it's a little bit harder to use. It's not as thin as the other, so you do have to use a tool a little bit more to do that. Okay, so again, the hole on this is going to be, actually that really fits in there, but it still pulls through a little bit. So let me show you now. I'm just going to use the little crimp bead on the end, Again, you can use a cap, you can use one of the little spacers, the daisy spacers at the bottom. You can use a smaller bead, maybe that doesn't have a hole quite as big as that. And just slip that on there. Okay, then that's going to be your stopper. And again, that does look like one of the little round pins, the round ends on the bottom that we just used. Okay, so that goes on there, and if I wanted to add another bead, I could do that. But let's just do it like this for right now. Here's one I did. I added a little red, another red bead and the daisy spacer in between that. But just for this, let's just go with this right here. And I think I will add another just for the look, because I don't have anything else going on here. Let's just add another one of these to the top. Okay, so there it is. I'll take this tool again. So again, we just want to place that here like that, right flush with the top of that, okay? And you'll see how far down I am on the tool. That is, and if you wanted to put like a little permanent marker there just to kind of keep it, but you know, after you do it for a little bit, you'll get the feel of where to put it. So again, this wire is a little bit thicker gauge than what I used last. So see here, we're just bending it 90 degrees like that. So that's how that looks, okay? Then I'm taking my tool and putting it on top, bringing my finger and pushing the wire around that way. Okay. Then I'm taking my tool, and a lot of people go so fast. It's like you really watch a lot of people bead. They go so fast and they just flip that tool around. So you always want your tool on top. So you went from there. That way when you're twisting all of your wire around it, your tool doesn't get stopped. Okay, so there like that, and then with your finger, and this just held right there, and just bend that back as tight as you can to that, okay? So there's that. And then I switch to my non-dominant hand, and some people don't do that part, but that's just how I find it most comfortable to do that. And then we'll take, because this is a little bit thicker, I'm gonna move that down a little bit so I got a little bit more room to work. To me, the first pass is like the most, because that kind of sets the stage for how you are going to do this. And then you just wrap it. It's so relaxing once you get the hang of it, and it does take practice, okay? Like I would sit in front of the TV when I first started learning how to do this, literally for hours until I got, my my loops to look right, because it does take practice. I know it looks super easy, and then you'll see it's kind of wonky there, and that's just kind of the nature of using this thicker. And I know I'm not really have the technique down to perfection. This is not something I do all the time. I just like to add the charms, and I think this is something I like to do when I'm watching TV or something. So you can always just kind of maneuver that to get your hole like you want, okay? And then I really don't have any more room, so again, just use your little snips and just snip off that excess. Snip it. Oop, flying somewhere. So for safety's sake, you probably want to wear some safety goggles. Okay. And I just take that in because you don't want it to be, you don't want it to be pokey. So, and it is. This is probably the most frustrating part, is this kind of walks on you. So, sometimes it's like, just stay still. It's like a kid. It's like, just sit still for just a minute. Let me just. Okay, so I've crimped that down. Okay, now that we have that done, let's add a couple of these together. Okay, so say that you have your beads done, you're like, okay, woohoo, I'm done. I want to add these and make me a little cute little charm. Whatever you have, something like that. That's really big, that's pretty small, so that would be good for maybe Just one little bead, add that to that. Okay, so let's do that. Let's add that one. So that's one bead on one little teeny tiny lobster claw there. So let's use kind of this size right here. I don't know the sizes, but okay, for this is good when you have your curved nose, smooth pliers there, and then just whatever else you have. Okay, whatever, as long as they're smooth. You don't want anything that's going to damage the metal. Okay, with the jump rings, of course, you have a spot that is open. Okay, so you will take the two pieces like this. Let me make sure I'm on camera here. Okay, so where those are, you move with one hand. One hand is stationary and the other hand is actually pulling. Okay, so you pull them slightly apart. You notice I'm just moving my right hand, open it slightly. Okay, hold that with that. Add your bead like that. Add your lobster claw like that. That joins everything together. Take this, take that back, take that tool to hold that in place. Move your right hand back. You will move your close it up and go just slightly past that. Okay, because when you go slightly past that, that actually closes up as natural as it was when you first opened it up. Okay, you don't want to overgo or come too short or go right to it. You go slightly past, and then that just kind of makes it go. I don't know, it's weird how it just kind of works like that, but that's the way I've always learned how to do it. And then that is closed. Okay, so there we have that one. So that one is all joined up there, ready to go, ready to clip onto something. Okay, so that one is done. Now let's do three together. Now there's different ways you can do this. You can add each one onto its own jump ring and then have them cascading, which I think that's how I'm going to do this, just because I want it to be a little bit more dangly and longer. So for that, I think what I'm going to do is add a big jump ring to this. Okay, probably going to do a couple of these just to have them a little bit more dangly than normal. That may be a little bit too big. Let's go with, yeah, I think I'm going to do a couple of these together. So again, I really don't like that tool there, so I'm going to do this. Again, you will want to put both of these in between, pull with one hand only, open up just enough, and then you can add that to that. Okay, now I think I'm going to go ahead and add one more to that. That will be what everything kind of hooks onto. Okay, I say that. I think I'm going to do, let's see how it looks. Okay, so again, you're holding, that's kind of big and bulky. I'm sorry that maybe or you can't see it, but this one just gives me the most grip. Okay, and you're going to move that back slightly past it. Okay, and then that just closes that right up and it makes it completely round again. Okay, because you can really mess up some of these jump rings by, you know, by pulling too hard or pulling too far out, and then you can never really get it that round look again. So you have to practice with that too. Okay, that does actually take a little bit of practice to do that. So I have a couple of pieces there. So I'm thinking one more, and then I can add the biggest piece on the bottom, and then maybe come up and add that one there, and then that one on that side. That would probably look okay. And then those two. Okay, we'll do that. So that will work. So now let's do, I kind of think I'm going to use, let's use this side. So this is the middle size here. So that size right there. Okay. I really do need to use that because this one's really too big. So just open. Place your bead on, and then I am going to attach that around that top. I need a good grip on here. So you're just going to take that, move the wire past it. You're only wanting to move one side. This stays stationary. okay? Because if you start working against each other, it's never really going to meet up and look right. So that makes it back completely normal. Okay, so there we have that. So that's one on there. That's on that top ring, and we're going to add this one to the bottom. And if you have a larger ring, you can do this any way you want. So if you want to add more than one strand or one little bead setting onto one jump ring, so maybe you want to add two, you can definitely do that. There's really no wrong way to do it. It's just a certain look that you want, how you want it to cascade is dependent on how many links you add to that. Okay, so just kind of work it out and see how you want it to dangle. Okay, so there again, we're just coming right past that. Okay. So yeah, and then with the shorter one on there, then that's going to look really good right there at the top. Okay. So let me know what y'all think. Again, I just do this more as just something fun to do. Yeah, you're probably going to find a lot better videos than this. It's just for people that know me and maybe have seen my work in person and just thinking, oh, I kind of like that. How does she do that? This is just the easiest way I found to do it. I'm by no means one of these people that sit around, this is all I do. As you know, I'm mostly a paper crafter, so, but these are just really fun to add. I love all sorts of crafts, y'all. I have literally done it all. I've done needle tatting, I've done toll painting, which I cannot paint, I cannot draw. So that was like, yeah. I like a lot of different kind of crafts. So, and I have tons of jewelry making stuff. I make my own earrings. I really enjoy making earrings and bracelets. So, okay. So there we go. There's that little dangle on there. And I think I may come back and add maybe a little charm to it. I have a lot of little charms. And so then, well, that looks so cute on my little notebook there. So then this has an opening. So I can just come back and clip that on. And there we go. How cute is that? Yeah. So, anyway, I hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I will drop everything that I have used here, with the exception of the stuff I got at Hobby Lobby. But things that I have used in the past to do my jewelry making, a lot of it I've gotten from Amazon, so I'll link everything below. So again, if you have any questions, just let me know. So that's what our little dangle looks like there. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you will subscribe and like and share. Thank you.